Hey everybody, we're back. Episode number 59. Kevin's Korner, real estate from a marketing perspective. Look who I got here with me today. You guys have seen him before. This is Bartholomew. He is back for a second time because he's got some updates he wants to tell everybody. And we want to talk about Hurricane Beryl, and we're going to talk about marketing.
Absolutely.
He markets with his business and what he plans to do. So remind everybody who you are.
Well, Brian Bartholomew, certified residential specialist, certified international property specialist, accredited buyer's rep, et cetera, et cetera. Several designations, been in real estate for over 24 years, do residential, commercial, work with a lot of investors, and now with Next Home Real Estate Place.
24 years. At what age were you when you got your license? And don't say 12.
You're too kind, sir.
Because you're only like 23, right?
Right. Well, do we have to say that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, I've been around the block a little while, but yeah, I started pretty young. It was a passion of mine. I always used to love running around homes, so why not, start selling them?
Buying them, yeah.
Yeah. I started off in the mortgage business first, so
That's
I used
right.
to do the loans. Yeah. And I realized I can not only do the loans but sell the homes. So why not do both? Put your eggs in one basket there, then you make sure that that person handles the job and does it well, and it's a benefit to my clients.
Right. And you mentioned your designations. Tell everybody, what do you specialize in as far as real estate? Are you a buyer's agent, seller's agent, leasing agent, investors, all of the above?
I'm
What's
a
your
professional. I'm a professional agent. Buyers, sellers. I really understand both dynamics. I'm also a senior real estate specialist. So not only
What does that mean?
Seniors, people that
people like me, old people.
People like us, maybe.
I
don't know about that. You
said
just said I was 20 something.
Exactly.
But
I left you out.
our population, the baby boomers, they're getting older, empty nesters, they are starting to retire or have retired. Kids are away and they're living longer. So the decision comes up, hey, what do we do? We've got this big old house here. Do we downsize and move to something smaller, more convenient? And that is a big topic. And how do we do that? Do we put things in trust? Do we have a will in place? What do we do? So I work with financial advisors, 1031 exchange, determine whether or not it makes sense to stay in the home, or maybe they have to go to assisted living or active lifestyle. So there are a lot of dynamics that seniors or active adults are doing today. So I love that because it's a space that people need attention and care, and that's one of my specialties, to provide professional, hassle-free service, but have the knowledge and experience there to do that.
And it's interesting that this came up today now, because in my class yesterday, empty nesters came up as people were talking about it, because that's one of the things that I can do with my farming for agents. But a lot of people that have been in their property for 15, 20, 25, 30 years, they either are just so comfortable that they don't know what they are sitting on. They don't know how much equity they have. They don't know how to buy another house and how to sell theirs. So you're right. I mean, empty nesters are a great opportunity.
It's a fantastic market segment, and you're right. People that have, the average person spends maybe 5 to 7 years in a home. And then you have people that own their home and have lived in there for, 20, 30 years or more, and it's paid off. So the question becomes, as you said, how much is that home worth? And does it make sense to sell that home and maybe buy something else? What's really interesting is because of our market today, people are excited about new homes and new communities and things of that nature. But what they're not excited about is the price.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to
Prices
find something.
Are inflated right now.
Yeah, the price that it would cost to replace their home, sometimes it doesn't make sense to make that move.
Yeah, a lot of people, they could be doing so much more with their life financially if they got out from under a 3, 4, or 500,000 or even more house. get into a $250,000 or $300,000 house. Now they got all this cash in the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. The question is that $250,000 house. What does it look like? And are they going to be comfortable in that home? That's the challenge, really. A lot of people want to do that, but it's really hard to find something at that price point. Even in our market, it used to be a great opportunity.
Well, $250,000 used to be a starter home.
Exactly. Now it's over $400,000. So it makes it pretty tough.
Yeah. So you are also a commercial specialist, right?
Yes.
So tell everybody a little bit about that.
Oh, I love commercial. Commercial is a world that I'm gravitating more and more to. I've been doing it over several years, and really acquiring more clients in that space because the commercial market, the industry is really booming. I'm sure everyone is seeing a lot of these huge super industrial complexes being built. And Houston is still a great spot in terms of corporation moving in or manufacturing or industry moving in. So we do have that for our economy. As opposed to on the residential side is a little more challenging.
How does in your opinion, how does COVID, which has been over for a while, I know, but COVID created a mentality of work from home?
Yes.
Which is now the commercial buildings, the commercial real estate is feeling the effects of that, because not all of the companies that decided to go work from home have come back to the office yet. So how is that affecting the real estate market, commercial real estate market?
That's a really good question, Kevin. And the greatest impact is on offices, so space. The office buildings. And when you talk about occupancy rates, they like to have them in the mid-90s, 95% or something like that, which means the building is almost full. When you're down in the 80s or below, that's a real challenge because now, profitability, et cetera. So what you're finding is some of the big high-rise office buildings have a lot of space available.
This one
right?
does. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are opportunities there because people are working from home, and they found that a lot of businesses found that, hey, people are equally or even more productive working from home, and they have that flexibility. Some are trying to push people to come back to the office maybe a couple times a week, 2-3 times a week, but still, you're finding that they're cutting back on that office space. However, other areas are doing very well in commercial.
Like what?
Industrial,
okay.
Retail. Retail
yes.
is doing extremely well.
Yeah.
It's tough on restaurants, and they come and go still, but retail is still doing very well. And you're seeing a lot of strip centers open up, and from nail shops to national chains like a Starbucks or Smoothie King or whatever the case may be. It's still a great place, and we have a lot of people here. People are moving to Houston. What is it, 30,000 a month or something? Some ridiculous number. So
have you been on the freeway lately?
Yeah, it's really crazy. So for that reason, retail is doing very well.
And commercial real estate is, at least from what I've seen, I'm not a commercial real estate expert by any means, the deals take longer to close, but when they do, they're 10 times more profitable.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like that part.
So
another segment too is, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, is the development side on real estate, because you're seeing a lot of land. Texas has a lot of land. Houston has a lot of land. So you're seeing growth everywhere where you're buying, 50 acres, 100 acres, and then you see a development corporation coming in and putting master plan communities. You have 2, 3, 4, 5 builders coming in. So that is an area that has grown. I don't know if it's going to continue to grow because the building has slowed down now. Yeah. So builders are not building as much, so inventory is a problem.
Yeah, it's the real estate industry right now is I like to say that it's upside down,
unpredictable
from what we're used to. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about what the city of Houston has just had to go through about a week ago, Hurricane Beryl, and let everybody know how you think that has affected the city of Houston and the real estate industry.
Wow. It was absolutely unbelievable to experience a tropical storm, barely a hurricane category 1.
I still think it was closer to a 2.
Well, 1 or 2. It wasn't like, what was it, Ike or Harvey that was like a 4 or something?
No, Harvey was a tropical storm. But Ike and the one that went into Louisiana, New Orleans.
Oh, yes.
Which I can't remember the name right off the top of my head. Those were 4 and 5s.
Those were 4s and 5s. Yeah. The point being, I personally experienced, I live not far from here, and, the lights went out Monday at 4:21 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. And they did not come back till Saturday evening at 6:30.
So you were without power for 5-6 days.
Yes. And guess what? They came back on that Saturday evening, and then Sunday morning at noon, they went out again.
Oh my gosh.
So what am I saying here?
I'm not going to tell you when my lights came back on.
I know. We were still probably one of the lucky ones. Thank God I have friends. I was able to go and, taking care of my kids and my mom, and we all left. But there were a lot of people that couldn't do that. And we had, 20 people that have passed away or perished due to some element of this horrible, heat and storm. Yeah. But the point is here, we cannot be the energy capital of the world.
If it takes 6 days to get your power back on. No, I get it.
We can't get our power back on. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. What is CenterPoint doing? And when you call them, you couldn't get through. You couldn't get any concrete answer. People were trying to call. It was just a mess. So what I've heard in the information that I've seen now, that's going to impact our economy. Because people, the globe was looking at what was going on in Houston, and now we have all these people that are migrating to Houston and saying, well, maybe I need to second guess that. So some of that is going to be diverted, probably to Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, other markets. So Houston is going to be
off the coast.
Yes, going to be impacted. Also, the coastal areas, and I saw an article I think in New England, and all coastal areas in general, because of erosion, and climate change and everything, the value of properties are going down because, it's a problem there.
Well, the other side of this problem is insurance.
I was just about to say that. Insurance here has increased 60% in Texas. So
it's ridiculous.
It's one thing to buy a house now, and the median is $400,000. That means your note's somewhere around $3,500 a month. Okay, starter home. That's a lot for the new family, first time home buyer, right?
You better be making $160,000-$75,000 a year to afford that.
Exactly, and that's not a big house.
Most people aren't doing that.
And
it's not a big house.
It's not a big house, so it's not luxurious by any means. But part 2 of that is due to the increase in insurance cost, that is making that note even higher. So even though maybe interest rates come down, I mean, they're right now just under 7. Yeah, it's like 6.5, 6.825, right? With the insurance, that's a bigger impact, bigger effect on their mortgage payment. Well,
just to give you an example, and I live in a smaller starter home that was built in the 78, and so my mortgage is not out of control.
But your
insurance, on the other hand.
But your insurance.
Oh my gosh, I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. If we don't figure out how to fix this, no matter what kind of environmental impact we have, people are going to start getting insured out of their homes. Because they're not going to be able to afford the insurance payments. Don't worry about the mortgage payment.
No, you're spot on.
The insurance is going to kill you.
Yes. Texas, California, Florida. Those 3 states alone are the majority of the claims.
And the other thing I've heard is because a buddy of mine, whom you know, we'll give him a shout out, Aaron Burrows with Goosehead Insurance. He told me that, for example, right now when you buy homeowners insurance, roof coverage is part of the homeowners. Pretty soon, your roof is not going to be part of homeowners, and you're going to have to buy a separate policy just for your roof.
Yeah, they're trying to find a way to make things happen. But a roof, I remember years ago, replace a roof was like, $6,000, $7,000, right? Nowadays, starting $20,000 for a roof. You know, it's like, are you
for
kidding
a
me?
2,500 square foot house?
Exactly. So, we definitely have some issues here. I don't know where this is going, but the residential market definitely has its challenges, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to correct itself.
Lumber. I mean, I just had, give him a plug, Dustin Orlando with First Rate Inspections.
Okay.
He, Dustin, the bearded guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he came out, and I wanted the front of my house, the visual of the front of my house to look better because it's been there for so long. My house has been remodeled. It's beautiful on the inside. It's beautiful on the outside. But it still had the same old 45-year-old chain link fence. So I had him take the gate and the chain link on the front of the house on both sides out and replace it with a brand new 6-foot wood fence. That 8-foot section and that 1 6-foot with a gate
ridiculous.
was $1,500.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
My
Oh
God.
yeah! Oh yeah!
So
I
did it
mine a few years ago,
but
it was like
it was painful.
$30-something linear foot or something, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's thousands of dollars to replace a fence. Yeah. And guess what's happening right now? My fence fell, right?
Yeah.
And most people in the neighborhood, trees, fences, everything. That's the least. You're blessed if that's all that occurred, right? So. At least that's your cost right there. Most people are having to deal with that.
I don't even know if homeowners insurance covers that.
That's a great question.
Maybe wind and hail does, but not homeowners.
Yeah, it's on the wind and hail. And then you have to look at your deductible.
Exactly.
Because, once you make that claim, it's going to go up. It's going to go up anyway, probably, because they absorb everybody else. But if you make a claim personally, it's going to go up even higher. So I elected my neighbor, fortunately for us, he has an iron fence company. So guess what I think we're going to do? I said, did you know that the fence fell down between us? He's renting his home right now, and he didn't. So I think we're going to get a sweet deal.
So my fence didn't fall down. Why? Because it was chain link. The wind went right through the fence.
Lucky you.
The new fence that he put up was fine. But flood insurance. So my house has been there since 1978.
You're going from one evil to the other.
We're talking about it. So, 1978, never taken on a drop of water. Harvey came in, sat on top of Houston for 5 days.
Yes.
On the last day, as it was leaving Houston, 6 inches of water came into my house.
Wow.
And so I was one of the few people that had insurance. I don't understand why people don't buy insurance. I don't care what it costs. If you're going to buy a home, insure it. But my point is at the time of Harvey, my insurance for flood was only $287 for the entire year.
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, how much?
$1,000 for an entire year.
Wow.
It tripled.
Wow. So I'll tell you, I remember, I think when that happened, mine was $324. I believe, for insurance. And we're not in a flood zone.
I wasn't either.
Right? But we didn't have any damage, so that's where it is. We're still not
Your
in
house
a flood
didn't
zone.
flood in Harvey?
No, our house did not flood.
Yeah,
and I live in my backyard. It goes down to Oyster Creek. It runs right through the area there. So it got really close, but it never flooded. So today, my insurance is 5-something. So,
it's half mine.
Yeah. But
so think
yours
about that.
actually flooded, so I'm sure there's a premium on top of that.
So think about that. $1,000 a year for flood insurance. Homeowners, they tried to double it to $3,600.
Yeah.
But Huron Burroughs with Goosehead Insurance was able to find me a policy equivalent for about the same price.
Goosehead is very good. I use Goosehead as well.
Yeah, so 25. So that's $3,500.
Yeah.
And then you put on wind and hail on top of that, which was another $1,600.
Yeah.
So we're talking about over almost $6,000 a year just to insure my house.
That's $500 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
just that alone.
Yeah.
So
then you put that on top of, then you add on top of that the escrow amount that they want for your mortgage, and then the principal and interest and taxes. It's ridiculous.
So what do you think is going to happen?
I'm not sure. I truly believe that, like I said, if this doesn't get fixed, you're going to start seeing people walking out of their houses because they can't afford them. Foreclosures is going to go through the roof.
We might go through that wave again.
Right. We're going to go through another wave of that. And then what's going to happen is someone's finally, people always tell me all the time, I say, well, why does this cost, $45? Well, because the guy that, sent me the materials and the ingredients to build it charged me so much. Well, then go talk to him, and then go talk to whoever he gets his supplier is. Someone in that supply chain has got to stop jacking up prices. It starts with someone.
That's it.
It starts somewhere.
Yes.
You don't have to increase the rates. You just do because you get away with it. Well, we're at the point now to where you can't get away with it anymore, because what's going to happen is that you're going to want $25 for this, and that no one's going to be able to afford it.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, and this is a real serious subject. Insurance companies, for example. Forgive me, but I'm going to be candid. Insurance companies have been very profitable. They don't lose money.
No.
So to your point, somewhere down that supply chain, for example, they want to maintain a certain level of profitability, and because we're a capitalist society and we can't control that's the case. So guess what? That gets handed down, right? And there's not much that we really can do about that. If the guy says, hey, I still want my yacht and my mansion and this and this and this and this. Let's switch gears for a second. Let's talk about Centerpoint. A couple years ago or last year when we had the ice storm or whatever, right? And
17.
The grid went down, and Epcot had that issue going on, and we vowed to make changes. 21. It was a few years ago, right? Yeah. Guess what? I think the feds gave Centerpoint a couple $billions, right? Didn't they?
And electricity rates are still going up.
I don't know about you or you, but I have a premium in my Centerpoint bill paying for
the delivery
of the power. So not only did they get a couple $1 billion to improve the grid, and they're also charging us more, they didn't do anything. So there is a problem. So guess what? I already saw on the news with Centerpoint, they're going to lobby for an increase in rates to cover for the repairs. But wait a minute. You already got a couple $1 billion. What did you do with it? Somebody at the top is enjoying that quite nicely.
It's not to change industries, but it's the exact same thing that's going on with the Postal Service.
Exactly.
I think today was the day that they got their rate increase went up, that was approved.
Yes.
And the cost of a stamp keeps going up, but you keep losing my mail.
No accountability is a better way to put it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Right? Cost goes up, but zero accountability.
And what's going to happen is that sooner or later, just like what's happening now with the government, people are going to go, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to live without electricity until you guys figure this out.
I'll tell you something, and I'll touch on this. I do international real estate as well. I'm a certified international property specialist, right? And one of the markets that I'm very interested in, I do business in, is Panama.
Really?
Yes, right?
Next time you go to Panama, I'll put me in your suitcase.
I have a Panamanian company, and it's one of the number one places for expats to relocate to. It's a third of the cost, and you can live equivalent or better there for $2,000 to $3,000 a month, okay? But the point I'm making here is what I like about the Panamanians. The people come together. They realized that the government kind of did a deal on the side with Canada and somewhere else, and they were selling all the resources from Panama out, right? And they were destroying the country. Once the people got wind of that, they strike. They shut everything down. But they do it in a peaceful way.
Yeah.
Right? They just block the roads. We don't work and do it until the government gets it fixed. And essentially what they made happen was the government revoked the contract that they had with the other countries, and they made them solve it. Now, the U.S., if we could band together and say, look, we're not going to pay these gas prices, or we're not going to pay these house prices, or do this, this, and this, then maybe. But the problem here is that we never come together to do something like that. Well, that's a great question.
Here's my opinion. Because of our society and because of the fact that we have 3 different classes of people, there are a third of the population that no matter how much you increase rates on anything or prices, they can still afford it. So it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't work.
That's a great point. And what's happening today is this country was built on the small, the little guy and the middle class, right? But what's happening is our middle class actually grew. But what's happening now is that's shrinking again. You have more of the have-nots and the haves.
Yes.
And the people in the middle are suffering. So you're either going to fall in one bucket or the other bucket, which is
now we're going into another direction for another different podcast. So.
That's true. So, but it all relates to real estate because it's about the economy.
I get it.
And that's what it takes to drive the real estate market, and that's what drives this market outside of energy. Well, we touched on energy, and guess what? We touched on real estate too. So, commercial is what I see here in the future. And with the transitions that I've recently had in my business, Bartholomew Real Estate Group is still the group, and looking for aggressive, sharp professionals that are real estate savvy. And but in the meantime, the focus is gravitating more to commercial.
So talk a little bit about what you've done up until this point. To market your business?
Well, that's why we have you. Kevin is the man, and he would tell you a story. Believe only some of what you hear.
I'm not going to tell that story anymore because this guy is a complete 180 from when I met him. So
not really. It was just your impression, So
why was that?
I have no idea why you had that impression. Okay. But to make a long story short, I've been in this business for 24, 25 years, and it is about marketing and building relationships. However, old school versus new school, the old school way was face-to-face. You pick up the phone, you call, and you build a rapport, you shake hands, and that's how it works. Today, with technology and the digital age and social media and everything, there are so many ways to make that happen that you have to do some of these other things. So I was one of the ones that was kicking and screaming. I really didn't want to do it, but I did realize that it was essential. He came to one of my classes
kicking and screaming.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But the bottom line is, with your help and your assistance and your way of teaching and encouraging has made a difference. I've set up my Google business page. I've made some changes in my Facebook and my marketing. I've learned how to post rather quickly to multiple
different places within Facebook and on other platforms
very quickly. See, I don't even know the verbiage, but the bottom line is I'm learning, and one thing that you have to do, and I think with any industry, is you have to pivot and you have to adapt. So when things change, you have to change. If you don't change, then you're going to become obsolete. So I've done that.
Tell everybody some of the things that you and your group want to do, or you might want to do in the future, marketing wise, that you're not doing right now.
Wow, more video, more knowledge base segments, nuggets, that is very powerful, because I think people want to know, and there are a lot of people that don't know certain things, and we just need to get it out there. And I need to get out of this thing of it takes too much time to do. So
because once you figure it out, it really
once you systematize it, and I'm gravitating that way, and I was very close before I had some changes happen that I needed to make some adjustments. But bottom line is, I'm super excited about that, and it does work. And reach and frequency from the old radio days, you have to be very consistent, with these things. So I'm looking forward to doing more video.
Awesome, and it's good that you said that, because the number one way to market anything today, real estate or otherwise, is with video.
Absolutely.
So you got to get yourself out there. You got to get, not that you are, but you got to not be afraid to be in front of a camera like we are right now, and you just do your thing and get out there and let everybody know, because, the number one search engine on the planet is Google, and the number two is YouTube. Who owns YouTube? Google. So if you want to be on the internet, you got to be on YouTube and Google. If you're not, your competition is, and you're missing the boat.
You're absolutely correct. And I would say to the audience here that's listening and viewing that, and that goes not just for real estate, for any business.
Yes.
If you want to take your business to the next level, you've got to do video. Why? People don't have time to read.
They're visual.
They're visual. That's why TikTok is like a big craze, right? Mm-hmm. It's because people see these short clips and videos and they get excited about it. So I don't need to go any further other than, you need to do more video.
Yeah. Awesome. Are you looking to, I think you mentioned it earlier, but are you looking for new group agents, members?
I will be.
Okay.
Not at this immediate, juncture, because I am really kind of refocusing and retooling to see exactly what I want to do and what niche, because I don't want to eliminate the residential side, particularly as I mentioned, the seniors. I'm in that bucket, and I know my circle is in that bucket, and they need the help, and they appreciate the value I bring to the table.
Yeah.
So I don't want to eliminate that, but I can see the transition just where I am in life right now. That the cycle is different, the pace is different, the caliber of individual is different, the money is different. There are a million reasons why, and I have the experience and the credentials to be in that space. So why not?
Okay. So whether it's residential or commercial, Mr. Brian Bartholomew can help you out.
Absolutely.
Tell them what social media platforms you're on.
Wow, I'm everywhere. So I'm on Facebook, Brian Bartholomew, and then I'm also on Instagram, Brian _Bartholomew _real estate. I think something like that. Best way to reach me is pick up the phone and call me or text me. My phone number is 281-772-6608. That's 281-772-6608. Or you can text me. So text works great. I love helping people, and that's where things always start. I'm a great listener, and I love to help you achieve your goal.
Do you have an email?
Yes, my email is Brian, BRIAN, at Bartholomew Real Estate. That's BARTHOLO, M like Mary, EW, realestate.com.
And I know you have a website as well, right?
BartholomewRealestate.com.
Awesome.
Yes.
Give me the phone number one more time.
My phone number again is 281-772-6608. No call is or no question is too ridiculous. Hey, call. If you just need some advice, if you just need some comps for your taxes, or whatever. I love referrals. My business is based on referrals. So if you feel like someone could appreciate the knowledge and experience that Bartholomew Real Estate brings to the table, by all means, appreciate your referrals. Thank you.
Thank you for being on the podcast once again.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure,
be the last
Kevin.
time.
Kevin's Corner.
Yeah. So this has been episode number 59 at Kevin's Corner, real estate from a marketing perspective. Again, I have to thank my support team, Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Cornick, Devin Devin, and Wendy Santana, and our assistants and processors that work here. And like I said earlier at the beginning of the podcast, if you're a real estate agent or a vendor that operates in the Fort Wayne County area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com, and we'll be happy to get you on the calendar. Until next week, you guys have a great weekend. This has been Brian Bartholomew, Kevin Davidson. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it, Kevin. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right.